Emir Abdelkader was born in 1808 in the village of El Ghitana, near the city of Mascara, into a family renowned for its knowledge and Sufism. He grew up in a Sufi environment affiliated with the Qadiriya order. He received an education in Islamic jurisprudence, hadith, and the Arabic language, in addition to being trained in horsemanship and weaponry. From a young age, he displayed sharp intelligence and leadership skills, which earned him the admiration of his father and scholars, who saw in him the potential of a future leader. When France invaded Algeria in 1830, chaos spread across the country, and Algerians began searching for a leader to unite them against colonial rule. After several consultations among tribal leaders, Abdelkader was chosen in 1832 to be the emir of the resistance. Despite his young age, he accepted the responsibility and embarked on building a strong state capable of confronting French occupation, relying on a comprehensive military and administrative vision. His first steps involved establishing a well-organized army instead of relying on uncoordinated tribal fighters. He created specialized military units, trained infantry to fight in rugged terrain, and relied on cavalry as the main striking force. He also equipped artillery units to support battles and employed reconnaissance teams to gather intelligence on enemy movements. He imposed strict military discipline among his forces, preventing looting and disobedience, which earned him the respect and loyalty of his soldiers. Beyond military organization, he founded a well-structured state administration. He appointed ministers and regional leaders to manage the country's affairs and established a financial system to collect taxes and fund the resistance. He created a mobile capital known as Zamala, which was constantly relocated to avoid being targeted by the French. Additionally, he set up factories to produce weapons and ammunition to reduce reliance on imported arms. When battles with the French army began, Abdelkader realized that conventional warfare would not be in his favor, so he employed advanced military tactics that allowed him to resist for years. He adopted a guerrilla warfare strategy, launching surprise attacks on French camps and withdrawing before the enemy could retaliate. This strategy exhausted the French forces both psychologically and militarily. He ensured that he had no fixed bases, constantly relocating his camps so the French could not pinpoint his location. He also utilized the natural geography to his advantage, turning mountains and caves into natural fortresses that protected him from direct attacks. Abdelkader fought numerous battles against the French, most notably the Battle of Makta in 1835, where his army annihilated an entire French battalion led by General Trezel, delivering a severe blow to the French and forcing them to reconsider their military strategy. In 1845, he fought the Battle of Sidi Brahim, where he besieged French forces for 3 days, forcing them to fight under harsh conditions and inflicting heavy losses. He also engaged in the Battle of the Tafna Valley in 1837, which resulted in the signing of the Treaty of Tafna between him and the French, recognizing his control over western Algeria. However, he was aware that the French would not honor the agreement, so he used the truce to reorganize his forces and fortify his positions. The treaty did not last long, as the French soon violated it and launched new attacks, using brutal methods to weaken the resistance. They adopted a scorched earth policy, destroying villages and burning crops to prevent the local population from supporting Abdelkader's army. They also used betrayal as a key weapon, attempting to lure some tribes with money and positions to undermine the unity of the resistance. Despite this, Abdelkader continued to fight courageously, but he found himself facing a vastly superior French army in numbers and weaponry, while some tribes began withdrawing their support under French pressure. By 1847, his military situation had become critical, as he was surrounded on all sides by French forces, and his supplies were running low. After deep contemplation, he decided to surrender to spare the lives of his men, on the condition that he be allowed to go to the east. However, France betrayed the agreement and exiled him to France, where he remained imprisoned until 1852, when Napoleon III decided to release him. After his release, he moved to the Ottoman Empire and eventually settled in Damascus, dedicating his life to knowledge and Sufism. Despite distancing himself from politics, his influence remained significant. During the sectarian strife that erupted in Damascus in 1860, he played a crucial role in protecting thousands of Christians from being massacred, earning him worldwide respect. Abdelkader al-Jazari passed away in Damascus in 1883 after a life filled with struggle and scholarship. His name remained immortal in Algerian history as a symbol of resistance against colonialism. In 1966, his remains were transferred to Algeria and buried in El Alia Cemetery alongside other national heroes, a well-deserved tribute to a man who fought bravely and laid the foundation for Algeria's liberation movements, which ultimately led to independence in 1962.